when you're practicing semen retention and nofap, you're gonna build up a lot of energy, and that energy is going to actually tempt you to go back into the old habits or to deplete yourself. And that's why you've got to learn to ground your S3X energy. So I'm going to guide you through a 10-minute practice, roughly about 10-minute practice to ground your energy. And I'm going to explain the importance of grounding when it comes to your retention practice and lifestyle. Let's dive into it. Hi, my name is Nicola Daz, and I help men master their S3X energy so you can unleash all your God-given abilities so that you can show up powerfully in your life, both in and outside of the bedroom. If you want to learn more techniques like the one that you're learning right now, go take the free transmutation guide. The link is in the description below. Think of your body like an electric circuit. So think of like a male plug. You've got the male prong, positive energy, female prong, which is negative energy, and then you've got the ground, which is neutral. The ground in an electric circuit is there to deal with the excess of energy or surges of energy coming through the system so you don't blow the lights off in the place. Well, your body is an electric circuit. So you've got a main positive or masculine channels, which runs from the base of the body up the back of the body and loops around at the crown of the head and ends at the roof of the mouth. The main negative or feminine channel runs at the tip of the tongue down the front of the body and loops back to the base, and then your main energy channel running up the center. Specifically in alchemy, we work with 21 acupuncture points or energetic points on the body to be able to open up that main positive and negative or masculine feminine channels. Your legs are your natural ground. You may be familiar with the term earthing or grounding, where you're barefoot and you walk around on the ground. The reason that is because Mother Earth material is feminine, and therefore by simply putting your bare feet on the ground, it helps ground you. So even if you don't know any practices or techniques, you can simply spend some time barefoot in nature or right on the grass or the earth or the dirt, and that will help ground your energy. Grounding is important for in the bedroom because if you want to do non-ejaculatory S3X, if you want to experience non-ejaculatory orgasms, so you still want to have intimacy with someone but retain, then you've got to be able to ground your energy, because as that energy builds up in your system through activity, through intimacy, it's going to want to find an outlet. And if you don't circulate that energy or ground it, you will eventually ejaculate. Outside the bedroom, grounding is important so that if you feel like, oh, I want to watch those pixels on a screen, I feel my hands go in my pants, I feel my thoughts getting really lusty, or in even a non-S3X application, you have to give a presentation, ground yourself. You've got to give a speech, ground yourself. You want to approach a woman, ground yourself. Anytime you feel yourself being anxious or nervous, that nervous, anxious energy, that needs to be grounded. Anxiousness and nervousness from an energetic perspective is just your mind is rattled, your nervous system is rattled, and that's why your thoughts are all over the place. By learning to ground yourself, you're going to feel powerful, centered, and when you feel powerful and centered, then you can make good choices and you're more in control of your mind and body. So let's get into these grounding practices. There's going to be two techniques we're going to teach you. These are right from my alchemy training. First is called deep earth pulsing, and this is a moving meditation. And the second is going to be a standing meditation. Now, specifically standing meditations, we have a few different postures that I work with my students. But for the sake of this video, we're going to do one posture. All right, so here's what you do. You take your legs, you zip them up so they're nice and tight. And then you take your feet, put them 45 degrees, and then straighten them. So now your feet should be somewhat shoulder width. You can be a little narrower, a little wider, whatever makes sense for you. And then you're firmly planted on the ground. Your knees are slightly bent. Your butt is tucked in. Like imagine if you were leaning on a bar stool, so your butt's tucked in. This locks in the lower spine. Your spine is straight. And your chin is tucked in. So you're creating a straight line from the feet all the way to the crown of the head. And then what you're gonna do is imagine that your right hand had a string attached to your right knee and your left hand had a string attached to your left knee, kind of like a puppet. And then as you move your right hand up, your knee comes up. And then as your right hand goes down, your knee goes down. Same thing with the left. As your left hand goes up, your knee comes up. And as your left hand goes down, your knee comes down. And we're gonna do this for 7 minutes, and I'll explain and add a few things to add to the alchemical process. Let's begin. We'll start off slow. Right hand up, down. Left hand up, down. Right hand up, and knee comes up, down. Left hand up, down. And now you're starting to get into a rhythm. Now you can go slow, you can go faster. I recommend slow at first. Now, as you're doing this, imagine that you've got two roots growing from the bottom of your feet and they're anchored into the ground. So therefore, you're rooted deeply into the ground. All of these practices of alchemy, they're not really about the physical movement. The physical movement is there to help the mind, and where the mind goes and how the mind is formed, energy flows. So the mind is the tool to working with energy. In alchemy, we don't even consider anything to be matter. Everything is energy, just vibrating at different frequencies. So what we consider physical matter is simply energy that's just vibrating at a lower frequency, so it's dense. And that's proven by modern science. So here we're doing deep earth pulsing. Now here comes the alchemical mental process to this. And this is really where the power is. What you're gonna do is, as your right knee comes up, you're gonna imagine energy coming up your leg and coming into the lower elixir or lower cauldron. Think of a cauldron where you boil something, and coming up. And then as your left knee comes up with your left hand, you're gonna imagine energy being pulled from those roots in the ground up into the cauldron or the Dantian in the Taoist tradition. So mind is up through the legs, up through the legs. You can sync your breath with the movement, but it's not so much important. Just allow your breath to be what it is. You can place the tip of your tongue on the roof of your mouth, which closes the negative and positive channels I was explaining at the beginning. Of course, I can't do this because I'm talking. So as you're doing this movement, and I've done this for half hour, hour. There are people will do this just for a few hours to get into a deep meditation. Really, really advanced practitioners. You may notice already that your mind is wandering and that you're like, well, energy going up, down, down. So energy up to the left, up to the right, up to the left, up to the right, up to the left, up to the right. You can go a bit slower. I'm trying to slow down. Generally, I go a bit faster in my own practice. I'm trying to be mindful that we go a bit slower. It's good to go slower and really get the energetics of it. Again, it's not so important, the movement. Don't be worried about, oh, am I doing it right? Do I look cool? It's the imagination. It's being able to work the mind. And then feeling that energy actually flowing. And once you really get into your subtle body, you can start to feel it. It's very energizing. And you'll notice that if you do just a few minutes of this, anytime you're feeling temptations or urges, and you just move this energy up and down your legs, you'll notice that the urges go away. You feel grounded. The lusty thoughts go away. The anxious thoughts go away. And what you're also doing from a physical perspective by doing this movement is you're relaxing your nervous system. And as you relax your body and really get into it, just get a nice rhythm. You'll notice after, if you do this for 10, 15, 20 minutes, by the time you hit the 10-minute mark, you're in such a nice rhythm, your mind goes really quiet. And you can just really feel the pleasure of the practice. I'm going to be quiet for 1 minute and just allow you just to focus on the energy traveling up the legs. And then we're going to add a little twist to the practice. All right, now we're going to add a little bit of an advanced technique. And don't worry if you can't get it. You can just simply stay in the flow that you've got. But here's what you're going to do. Now, nothing's going to change with the movement. It's the exact same thing what you're doing. But with your mind, when your right hand comes up and you're drawing energy up the right side, you're going to simultaneously anchor energy down the left side into the ground. So your mind actually has to split. You have to be aware of two things at once. Then your energy comes up the left side, the left leg, as your hand comes up and your knee comes up, and energy is now going down the right side, so down the right leg. So it's up and down at the same time. You might find it confusing, or you might find, oh my goodness, I can't focus on both at the same time. This is a practice. Think of like a drummer who has to keep steady on the kick bass while doing something else with the snare. They have to develop coordination. What this is mental coordination. Because again, if you're going to be having non-ejaculatory S3X, if you're going to experience non-ejaculatory orgasms, if you want to become more powerful in the mind, split your consciousness or your awareness into two different places. When you can run few different tracks at once in your own mind, you can actually start to organize and work with your energies and your resources in a very unique and powerful way. So this really trains the mind to be in two places at once. Of course, this is kind of difficult because I'm talking to you and I'm focusing on both the up and down currents. And have some fun with it. Just like any new skill, you'll probably suck at the beginning. When I first started doing this, I couldn't get the up and down current. I could only get the up current or the down current. But as time went on and I kept practicing, I was able to do, oh wow, I can go imagine a line of energy down and a line of energy up at the same time. It really helps anchor you to be mindful, slow it down even. Really get the movement of the energy. All right, now what you're going to do is you're going to come down to both legs on the ground, standing. You may already feel a little bit more relaxed. Just do a quick check-in on how you feel. And now what you're going to do is imagine two golf balls underneath your armpits. So your arms are slightly tucked out. Same position that you're in, knees slightly bent, butt tucked in. Check your spine straight. Chuck in your chin. And now, what you're going to do is you're going to raise your hands up to about chest height. Imagine two like balloons underneath your elbows. So your elbows are parallel. This is hugging tree position. And you're just going to stand like this. The secret to this position, to ground, is to relax your inner body. So what you can do is we're going to do 3 minutes of this. What you're going to do is imagine an ice cube placed on the crown of your head. And that ice cube is melting over your forehead, and it relaxes your forehead like a cooling melt. And it seeps into your brain. Relax your brain. Relax your eyelids and the muscles behind your eyes. Relax down the back of your head. Relax your shoulders. Relax your chest. And down your arms, relaxing your biceps, triceps. It's like all the muscles were just melting off the bones of your body. Relaxing down the forearms and into your hands. If you're aware, you'll feel either tingling or heat all around your hands. Notice that subtle energy. If you can't feel anything, no problem. As you continue to practice these techniques, you're going to develop more and more awareness of your subtle body. Now relax your chest, stomach. Relax your ribs. Relax all the organs within the stomach. Relax the upper back, middle of your back and lower back. Relax your buttocks. Relax the anus. Relax the groins. Relax your genitals. Relax that whole area. We carry a lot of tension there, a lot of tightness there. Relax your hamstrings and your quadriceps. Relax your calves, your shins, your feet. Imagine everything is just melting down to the ground. And what's keeping you up is not the physical. If you're tight, that's not the practice. You should be totally relaxed, but your mind, your energy is what's actually holding the position. Again, it's not so much about the physical posture, it's about the mental practice of being relaxed while holding this position. This teaches you to deal with uncomfortability, to push past limitations, and to use your mental strength and focus to hold and create. This translates into holding the vision of your life. And this type of power is developed to strengthen willpower and energetic control. Now, we've done this with my students where we had standing meditation contests where guys were holding this position for over an hour and a half. They didn't think that they could do it. And they were totally surprised at how powerful they are. Now slowly, mindfully drop your hands back down and just shake it up. And notice how you feel. Grounding is about taking the mental noise and the urges, putting them into the legs to ground them into the earth. And you don't have to be standing on the earth. That's the beauty. If you can't get outside, like I'm looking out the window, it's snowing, I'm probably not going to go stand bare feet out there. You can do these practices and it has the same effect. Use this when you're feeling tempted. And if you practice this, if you just save this video and you practice this consistently, you'll notice how much more your mind becomes focused. You can split your awareness and you can start to notice how you can move energy and the currents in your body, which is going to give you mastery both in and outside of the bedroom. If you like the video, leave some comments below. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the bell button so you never miss a video. Check out some of the other practice videos that I put on this playlist and develop a daily practice. You can come back and just use the videos on the channel. I'll see you on the next video.